friends, this is Jae the Fiber Mystic, or you can call me Jaemi. I wanted to do a little bit something different since the project that I wanted to do a reveal for the Hobbit outfit. I wanted to do kind of behind the scenes to show you guys the work that I did on it, but the technology that I had to record was not the best. So it ended up not working out as well as I wanted it to. With that said, I decided I'm going to pivot and do a different project with this new technology that hopefully isn't going to crap out. I'm going to do a mashup of dress patterns in a kind of pumpkin-y design because I'm feeling fall, and I know we're only getting into August, and here in Texas it is not fall anytime soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mash up this simplicity here. We're going to do the skirt from B on this pattern, and then I'm going to take the apron top from this Simplicity 1221, and I'm going to use this top part of the apron as the top of the dress to kind of make like a pinafore style. So that is what I'm planning to work on next. And as far as the fabric goes, first we have this material that's going to be for the skirt. It's pumpkin-y, so pumpkin-y. And then this lighter orange material. So we will see what happens. And I hope you stick around to find out with me. I am extremely new to sewing. I've maybe only done a handful of things. I started sewing again over the last few months when I stumbled upon Rachel Maxey on YouTube, and I just find her videos absolutely inspirational. She really is one to just encourage you to make something if you want to make something. So I'm gonna make something. We'll see what happens. So without any further ado, let's get into it. And I apologize for the absolutely atrocious lighting. I do not have good lighting in here. I'm working on that. I also don't have an ironing board. Please don't judge me too harshly. I am just using the mat off of my old broken ironing board on my table as best I can. And I probably want to turn it down just a bit, even though this is cotton, because it does have glitter on it, and I really do not want to scorch the glitter right off. So, here we go. And pay ye no mind to the carding cloth on my table. That keeps getting in my way. I do not have a blending board, and this was my solution, and now it is just getting in my way more than anything anymore these days. And I haven't used it in eons. I really want a drum carder, but they're like $1 billion. And by $1 billion, I mean like $500-600, which is still out of my price range because I'm a cheap ass bitch. Oh yeah, steam action. There's this one wrinkle that will not iron out. No, I poured a bunch of water on it. Maybe it'll unwrinkle now. I also probably don't know how to correctly iron, so no judgment on that either. But you're welcome to politely tell me how I'm doing it wrong. And if you not so politely tell me how I'm doing it wrong, I'll probably just ignore you. Because nobody likes a jerk. And this is a jerk-free channel. So says I. But as I was saying earlier, I haven't really sewn anything since high school, and it was my freshman year that I took sewing classes. Freshman or sophomore? I can't remember. I have terrible memory. So, you know, it was sometime in high school, and I really only made quilts. I did the Project Linus project, where you make quilts for children in the hospital. So I did that for, I think, 2 semesters, pretty much. I took the class, sewing 1 and 2. And I really, at that time, I really only was interested in making quilts. And not really making clothes, because it was a little more advanced than my small brain could handle. I had a sewing machine and never really used it up until recently when I started watching Rachel Maxey, and she just inspired me to really kind of lean into it and just give it a go again. And I'm very much into like sustainability and things like that, so now seemed like a good time. Okay, that's the pumpkin fabric. Now we'll go to pinning and cutting. And ignore the fact that I'm pinning on the carpet because my entire house is carpet. And I hate it. Do any of you guys remember the old saying from school, or maybe somewhere else in your life, measure twice, cut once? Yeah, that's a good saying to remember. Whoa. Because you need to make sure that shit is even. And if it's not even, then you gotta do it again. So this is going to be the skirt for view A minus the ruffle on the bottom, because I have to do the shorter measurement line here, given the fabric that I have. So I'm just gonna mark it off, because I don't know if any of them are important. So I'm just gonna mark them in case they are. So I do have 2 pair of scissors, two pairs of scissors. This one is my cut out my patterns scissors, and this one is my cut out my fabric scissors. So I'm going to take this, put it where I made the first line it up where I made the second line, and then use my chalk pencil and just draw this line across so I can try to make as straight of a cut as possible. That's it for the first skirt piece. Not super exciting stuff, but what can you do? Skirts are not super exciting until they're done, and then the swoosh. So now fold this pattern back up after we unpin it from the fabric, and try our best to fold it back in with the original. It's like a puzzle. Ah, I've solved it. Now we have our second pattern piece, and this is the skirt back. So basically repeat the same steps on this. Taking loose, putting the thread line on the fold, cutting it out at a shorter length, and I'm going to move it down to my last cut line, which should help hopefully make things easier. Because then I don't have to do anything except cut the line across for the pattern. Okay, that's that piece done, so we will fold it back up. Okay, so now we are going to do that guy. Ooh, this guy. The top bodicey part. Once I find the pattern pieces for this one. A good place to start is this little booklet that comes in. Is it better to go with 38 for slightly smaller, or is it better to go with 40 to 42 for slightly bigger? Because I literally fall in between the bust measurements at 39. Them odd-shaped bobs. So it doesn't specify which way I need to fit it. It is so wriggly. And I know I can iron pattern paper, but the idea of doing so makes me very nervous. So I'm not going to do that. Especially on patterns that are older, and this one isn't, it's a reproduction. But if it were, I would not want to fudge it up. There is a tear there. Guess I'm going to reposition. But ideally, I don't want any tears in my material that I have to turn around and patch. Not that I'm entirely opposed to that, as for the holiday outfit, I did a lot of patchwork. So, I just am patchworked out, I think. As far as YouTube goes, I'll primarily be doing this after work. I do work full-time, and I'll do this on the weekends as well. So I don't know if I'll have an extremely consistent upload schedule, but I am willing to try, and we'll see what happens. If I've got that creative spark, I imagine I'll put out videos a lot, and if I don't, then I imagine that I won't. Because I'd really like to be able to share what I'm creating with everyone, and have everyone honestly share what they're making with me. One of my favorite things about crafting is the community. Being able to connect with like-minded people who share your hobbies and interests, and you can enthuse about those things with them. I'm sure everyone's got someone in their life that they love to share everything with, but that person is completely disinterested. So it's nice to have a place that you can vent or chat enthusiastically about what you like without feeling like you're overwhelming someone. As far as my goals with sewing, I would say long term, I do really want to be good at sewing. I want to be able to sew all my own clothes and clothes for other people, and I'd love to just learn everything there is to know about tailoring. And I knit as well, so I'm, as the name implies, a fiber mystic. I'm enthused about all things fabric and fiber. I have spinning wheels, I have sewing machine, I have tatter, I have a few different tools all within the fiber arts realm. So very passionate about fiber arts, and I really like to get to a point where I can share that passion with others and design things for people and just have a really good time with it. But for now, I'm just going to sew things for me and learn, and I hope you guys enjoy the ride. Cut 2 on the folds. So we'll need to cut 2 of these pieces on the fold. And I know there's a trick. I can fold it over and cut it. So we're going to try that. Well, I ended up with 3 on the fold, I guess. Well. Welcome back for day 2. And for today, I have all of the pattern pieces cut out. I have the interfacing cut out, and I have everything laid out and ready to sew. So without further ado, I guess let's go ahead and get to it. I'm very excited for this. I really hope it turns out. It looks like it's going to be super cute. And I am excited to have some things that I'm actually looking forward to wearing in my wardrobe that I've made. It's always a good feeling to make something and then you actually like wearing it. Alright, so now we're down on the floor like the floor trolls we are. We have our microphone in our hair because it was the only really good place to pin it. And we are looking at the instructions for assembling the bodice bit. And I added extra interfacing to this because I wanted it to be sturdy and Mama don't trust. And it would help if I had the pieces laying correctly so I could see the markings that I made originally. Freya, boots scooting about, meow, meow. Yes, hello. Hello, madame. What can I do for you? And my fan is blowing around, and my cat is zooming everywhere. She is the star of the show, let's face it. It's Freya. It's not me. The animals are always the stars of the show. We're going to pin this here, and then we're just going to do what it says, stitch along the top edge. It is pinned, and now we will just need to sew along the top of that. I need to get one of those wrist things. I talk about it all the time. It would be so useful because then I can just take a pin out as I need one instead of always being like, what is my tomato? No. Is that what this is called? Is it called a tomato? I don't know. It's like a tomato with a strawberry, which I always found interesting. I wonder what the story is behind that, actually. Maybe I'll have to look that up. I like history stuff, so. I will say that adding the interfacing backing to it really made a difference in how stiff the bodice piece is, so I think it's going to have good structure. And I think it's really going to be cute once it's all sewn together. Coming along great. We will pick this back up tomorrow. So it is day 3, and I just need to sew the skirt and attach the skirt to the bodice, and we're done. So then I can do the reveal. I'm hoping to have that done by this evening, but I am a little low energy because it is my middle of the work week. So we will see where we get to. And I'll see you over at the sewing table. I'm back, and the last step now, I've put in on the skirt 2 lines of straight stitching so that I can do the gathers. And to do that, I need to figure out where the ends are and then figure out how to pull on them to gather them, because I've not done this with a machine before, so let's see how this works. Oh, look at that. So you just grab and pull and slide the gathers. So that's neat. So I'm going to gather this to my waist size and pin it to the bodice, figure out how I'm going to sew that, and I will be back. Okay, I have it pinned here and a funny little situation going on in the back, but we'll see how it looks when it's all sewn together. I'm thinking I'm probably going to hand sew it so that I can just stitch it kind of on the underside so it doesn't show the stitching through the front. But not bad, I have to say. Not bad overall. And right now Stella is wearing it well. Stella. I decided I am too tired to do the hem tonight and attach the skirt to the bodice, and instead I'm gonna play some RimWorld, and I will see you guys tomorrow. It's Friday. I am finally back. I took the day off yesterday to just kind of give myself a mental break. But today I am going to sew the skirt to the bodice, and I did adjust the pinning on it a little bit to kind of bring it in because it was a bit big. But I look forward to the reveal, hopefully this weekend, and I will see you guys when that happens. I'm not going to sew the hem on camera because that's kind of boring and pretty basic. I'm just going to probably do a basic slip stitch to kind of attach it to the inside of the bodice without the seams being visible on the outside, so that's the goal. Now let's talk what went well and what I would do differently. What went well, I'm honestly really happy with how this turned out. The bodice fits nicely and the pumpkin print is even cuter in motion.
then the silhouette is just super wearable for everyday fall layering, and it feels festive without being too costumey, which is exactly what I wanted. If I made this again, I'd absolutely add some deep inseam pockets. She's cute, she's festive, but she's tragically pocketless. Next time, covert candy compartments, for sure. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if this has you craving some fall sewing magic. Thank you for stopping by the workshop. Hit like if this scratched your handmade itch, and subscribe for more crafty chaos, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! My ankle cracks like an old grandmother. And I'm trying to sit on my needles and snap my butt.